All right, Pretty Little Liars, episode 3. So we've got some phone numbers. They've been revealed on good old Spooky Spaghetti. And Mouse is freaking out about it. She tells the ladies. They're all trying to hypothesize who could do such a thing. We didn't really get any leads on that. I'm not exactly sure who could have gotten all their numbers, since some of them were like, who?
The therapist? Who would have all their numbers?
Yeah.
She would have all of them?
I mean, they're amending it purposefully to throw us off the scent of her, if that's the case. Because they collectively go around and say, who have we given our numbers out to? Mm-hmm. Right? Imogen's like, my dad. Mm-hmm. You know, Tabby says Christian, and so on and so forth. So, like, you would think the one person they all gave their numbers to would be like, well, we all gave them to the therapist.
No. They wouldn't consider her.
I understand they wouldn't consider her, but they wouldn't consider their dad.
Yeah.
They wouldn't consider, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Imogen's not going to consider her dad. She mentioned him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's literally, who have you given it out to? So, realistically, though, there is people that know all of their numbers. Each other.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't imagine any one of the 5.
Somebody that's real, like a boyfriend or whatever that would have access to one of their phones.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That would then be able to give away the numbers.
So, if each one of them has each other's numbers.
Yeah.
All you have to do is gain access to one of their phones, and you have all 5 of their new numbers.
Right.
Right? So it's not really that complicated, which it just seems like that's a glaring omission from their analysis of what's going on. It's like, well, we have all our numbers saved in our phones. Has anyone been away from their phone for like a minute? Has anyone let their phone get borrowed? Did it go missing for, you know, where do you put it when you go to sleep? Because that's the most obvious thing, is that each one of them have all of their numbers. It just seems weird. And then once again, as I said, if it is the therapist, like they all gave it out to the therapist, they're purposely misleading us. Because I feel like with what they divulged, the therapist would have been included. Mm. Right?
Yeah.
It just seems like a weird omission to be like, well, I mean, we all gave it to the therapist, but we won't mention that. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That just feels like, that feels a bit like bad writing. If that was the case. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I would agree.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know, obviously, who is doing it, but moving on from that. So then we move into the overused trope, which ends up paying off to a degree at least. And I did like where this went. But the whole, we're keeping your birthday party secret from you, and them thinking nobody loves me. I've seen this done in so many TV shows now. It's just like one of the main tropes. I think I remember seeing it in like Saved by the Bell and so many different shows over the years. That's such a trope, but it ends up leading to Mouse's grandmother, right?
Yes.
Taking her to this Chuck E. Cheese wannabe place. And, that's the end. But at least it leads somewhere. We'll get into that more in the end. But I don't know. I just was like, wow, we're really just recycling old scripts from past shows. But
I liked that they ended up having her grandmother, who's like losing her memory, be the one to take her into the killer's trap.
But she
cool.
remembers things long enough
to
take her.
But it's
But it
also
has,
kind of like
don't you think she would have to know the person to be like, okay, I'll take Mouse there?
It makes it
Phone call?
feel like weirdly paranormal or something in a way, like she's being like manipulated.
A phone call could
But
do
yeah,
it.
a phone call would be fine, especially if it's like the friendly therapist that's like, "Hey, this is where the girls are gonna have it." I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we might have had some clues, at least some red herrings created in this episode. We'll get to them, but it's who is absent during the roller rink party at Skidamarink.
Yeah, not Skinamarink.
Not Skinamarink, but Skidamarink. I think they should have just went all in on that and just called it Skinamarink.
Maybe they couldn't legally.
Yeah, it's possible. I just think that I don't know how many people who are watching this have heard of Skinamarink.
No, I mean, we've already kind of talked about this. Like, the show, even though it is like a horror series or spin-off of Pretty Little Liars, like,
The audience watching
I
it.
doubt that the audience is. I don't know. I mean, we're obviously big horror fans and we're watching it. So, but this is where, like, you know, Tabitha and like all of her horror movie references, and like now we get Christian and his masks and all of that. Like, they definitely like to like signal,
Sprinkle in
to-
the Easter eggs
Yeah.
for the horror geeks.
yeah. So Skidamarink is definitely a reference.
Yeah, I mean, when you go into Christian's basement, you get just a treasure trove of posters mostly. Some of the masks are recognizable that even accompany the posters, right? Like he has a Killer Clowns from Outer Space mask that he's made, as well as 2 Killer Clowns from Outer Space posters.
Yeah.
I noticed a ton. He brings her over there to watch Blackula, and he has a Blackula Scream poster, which is the sequel. So I thought that was cool. I don't know why he wouldn't have the poster for his favorite movie. But, you know, he likes to collect weirder posters for his walls. I can relate. But yeah, I don't know. Christian, as you had said, when we were watching this, it's like, he's so obvious.
Oh, yeah.
But it could be one of those, he's so obvious that he's not obvious, so let's do it.
I don't think so. But
He's at the roller rink.
Who knows? Yeah, exactly. He's there.
But that don't mean we don't got no Scream
It
thing
doesn't.
going on with multiple killers.
I don't really have any like, I'm not
Suspicions?
Yeah, I'm not suspicious of him at the moment. Because
What about
he's way too obvious.
Imogen's new dude?
Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Johnny. I don't trust him. I think that he has a moment where he's like, I'm a good guy, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, he's not, you know, trying to be an asshole or anything, but I don't know. I am suspicious of him because he's new.
I'm not because it wouldn't make any sense.
It would if he was related to Chip or
And she
something.
just so ironically happened to walk into that place to apply, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to kill you guys.
That'd be the coincidence.
Coincidences
But, I
of
mean,
that
it
magnitude
could be-
is lame writing.
Who else? I mean, he's there, though, so it's like, he's at the ice rink.
Farron's boyfriend is absent.
Farron's boyfriend is missing.
Now, what would be his motive, and, you know, having come off the first season as his character, is it possible? Sure. You're probably right with the therapist. I mean, it does seem like the most likely at the moment, and the only thing that's keeping me from thinking it's her is the fact that she was a character in the last Pretty Little Liars show as a therapist, and it's like, they're going to bring her here to make her a killer, I guess.
She's the same, like, character?
Yeah.
There's also Karen's... Isn't it her mom that's helping the pastor at the church? It could be Karen's mom.
It could be. I mean, she's
For
definitely...
Sure. She's had, like, a psychotic break.
Oh my god, she has definitely had a psychotic break.
Yeah. She's all, like, ultra-religious
And we were talking
everything
about
now,
Kelly.
too. Sorry, Kelly, yeah.
Karen's dead.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's good. Where so like as you had said, the therapist possibly could have all their numbers. You have Imogen is working with Johnny. She could walk away from her phone for a minute or two. He took her number, but did she hand her phone to him? How did the number get exchanged? She wouldn't have been able to look that fast.
I don't know, but I think that Tabitha handed Christian her phone. But yeah, I mean, unless they have like either a technology that lets them like copy the phone,
Right.
or they are somehow able to memorize insanely fast. I don't think that's the case. I think this is
Well,
like
cloning
you said.
technology works. I mean, if you can just pop a clone and like underneath it, you can copy someone's phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, maybe then could have been either of the new people that got their numbers.
It
and
seems
then there's
far-fetched.
also the juvie girl.
Yeah, she's at
But
the
she's
roller
at the
rink.
roller rink.
But she does have a record.
Yeah.
She is stealing from her job, which is really shitty of her to do.
Well, she said because her and her mom need it really badly.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's got problems at home.
Well, and also like her mom could be,
The killer.
yeah, helping.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, we don't know why she was in jail.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's because Noah put her there. I can't imagine that's the case. Or maybe something happened with Noah in jail where she ended up having to stay longer because Noah's leaves and Jen is still there.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get out till later on. Is it possible that Noah did something to make her stay in prison longer and she's back for revenge?
Maybe.
I mean, it's possible. And her mom, she's working alongside of her mom. Her mom's the one that's out doing the stuff because it's like, you took my baby girl from me or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible. That's not a bad theory. I mean, anyone's a suspect at this moment. Could be freaking the kid that Farron fired from the pool for all the fuck we know. You know, it could literally be anybody.
She leaves her phone in the locker whenever she's on duty.
And someone got in her locker to leave her
yeah.
this bathing suit joke.
Yeah.
So people have access to her locker,
yeah.
which has her phone unattended. And I mean, you'd have to know how to get in the phone, or you'd have to have some, as I said, I don't think you could use cloning technology. I don't even know how that works, but in a TV show, it's not like they're gonna stick to the absolute rules of the world or anything. That's a possibility. Farron is the one that is away from her phone, leaves it in a locker, and we know that people can get in there because of the bathing suit thing. So it's a good option. I'm thinking of the people who work there with her. You have Ash. Which Ash kind of came in later, right? Ash is kind of like Mouse's little boyfriend, but doesn't come until towards the end of season 2 or season 1, as a more focused character. So it's possible. I mean,
well, and also Noah's boyfriend is on the team as well.
He is.
And he's not at the roller rink.
And he was the one that got caught doing steroids and cost him the football, right? Football team. Didn't she get him kicked off or something because of the steroid use?
I thought so, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a while ago now, but I don't know. This all seems. I think you're. I don't know. Jen. I like the Jen theory right now. I don't think that's a bad one. I mean, if it is Jen, then it has something to do with her in prison.
Yeah.
And Noah fucking her over.
Yeah.
But it would make sense though to me that it wouldn't just be a vendetta against one of them. It would have to be a vendetta against all of them. Right? So in Scream 2, it ends up being, the mom right? And it's like, it's Billy Loomis's mom, right?
Right.
And then Timothy Oliphant's character is with her. But there's like a vendetta against everybody for that, because it's like, you guys are all responsible for the death of my kid. So I just feel like that's probably where this is leaning. Like, oh, I'm mad at Noah, so I'm going to take it out on all five of you.
Chip's mom? It could be Chip's mom.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So Chip's mom, it would be like, you got my kid killed.
Yeah.
Right? Because of your bullshit. It's all you.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
But Jen staying in jail because of Noah, that just doesn't mean it doesn't make any sense why they'd be targeting all five of them.
I think Chip's mom is a really good suspect.
But she's such an obvious red herring, but she has kind of disappeared.
Right. We haven't seen her since like the first episode.
First or second. Something.
This is the second.
This is the third. We watched 2 episodes that day.
Oh, that's
they
right.
released 2.
Yeah, she appeared briefly to be mad at Tabitha for, showing, or for her film being online.
Yeah.
She didn't even show up whenever they showed it at the theater.
At least we don't think so. But the fact that she, that Christian put it up on the marquee.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's possible that one of them is a plant in the life of, because Christian starts working at the theater, right at the perfect time to keep close to Tabitha, and Tabitha is the one who made the film on Chip.
Yeah.
So it could be Christian working alongside of, Chip's mom. Mm-hmm. That would be a good partnering, like Timothy Oliphant and Billy Loomis's mom.
Yeah.
That would be very Scream 2-ish there. Anyway, so I could see that. Because she definitely has just cause, as well does Kelly's mom. Mm-hmm. You got my husband killed, and you got Karen killed, and so she's got 2 deaths.
Yeah.
That she could. And then, as we had said before, you still have.
And didn't she give her phone number?
Who?
Does Kelly have their numbers?
I don't know if we ever see Kelly get the numbers, but she's invited to the party.
Because she
so I would think that Imogen gave her number, but that was post Spooky Spaghetti. Right? Yeah. And then, of course, we've already talked about this plenty, but then there's the most obvious character, which is, A's mom.
Right.
Right? That's still supposedly out there.
Yeah.
So she could be working in tandem with one of the new people.
Yeah.
But Johnny just doesn't make sense to me because Imogen just came in there to apply randomly. So it's like, that's too convenient. They could try to do it. I just think that's silly. But, I don't know. Christian being so obvious makes him not obvious because everyone would think he's too obvious.
Yeah.
To make him, like, you know what I mean?
Actually. Yeah,
so... Yeah. I go back and forth. I don't want it to be him because he's obviously like a horror fan. He's my kind of guy.
Right.
But, but he's an effects mask maker, right? And he already made the mask of the killer. He has it there. Tabby finds it, calls him out on it, and then when it's revealed later that he made the mask, it would make sense. It's very happy birthday to me in that way. So I don't know. Anyway. And then, you're not buying into the... Okay, I'm more... Now, you'll be like, of course you are. But, like, the whole Johnny Imogen thing, like, she doesn't have any right to step in and be like, you gonna flirt with all these girls? Because it's coming from a place of jealousy. Because she was into him. Yeah. And now she thinks that, like, either A, he's a player, or B, that it's like, I thought that something was gonna happen between us, and now I'm mad because you're talking to all these other girls. It's like, you can disagree with him all you want. That's your right. But he can live his life however the fuck he wants to live his life. And if he wants to screw a different girl every night of his life for the rest of his life, It's not really her business.
I mean, I think that she definitely is jealous, and that's why she apologizes, because I do think that she is coming not primarily, but from that perspective in some sense. But she's also a victim of, like, sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. So I do think that she is legitimately just also, like, kind of trying to look out for girls. And then sort of steps out of line and realizes that girl A wasn't wanting any kind of, like, information. And then when Johnny talks to her and kind of explains, like, himself.
Yeah.
After, they both react kind of heatedly, then she's like, oh, okay. So I think it's expected of her to act like that. I mean, she doesn't know. She doesn't know him. Like, she doesn't know anything about him. So I'm
more defending him from you. Like, I don't like him.
I don't like him because I just feel like there's something. I don't know. I just don't like him.
That's fine. I'm not into him. I'm just saying he's a.
And he can do whatever he wants. Yeah. Like, people, I don't care what people do, but I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
Something about his character kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know if it's supposed to, because I do think he's supposed to be like a hunky, like, heartthrob kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just, like, not into his vibe.
Yeah, I don't think you're into any dude's vibe in this show.
Well, yeah.
And then we got. What?
I was gonna say, like, Ash. So that's, like, the only one. And Ash I like Christian.
Sweet. Oh yeah, Christian's sweet.
Yeah. The rest of them, yeah, I don't really like any of the other.
But you're
guys.
I don't know. I can't see you being, like, physically into them much.
No. They're too young.
Yeah. So we get Mouse. She's got her birthday party going on. Everyone's having a good old time listening to Xanadu on loop or some shit. I think they're just waiting for her to get there.
Yeah.
They always try to make it seem like kids are familiar with, like, classic stuff. And this show, it's always like the 2 generations past that are writing dialogue and scenes and homages and references for modern kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of kids from today, and none of them are, like, don't know what the fuck Xanadu is.
I think there's probably a good amount of kids that, I mean, there's always kids that are into, like, retro stuff.
Some.
Like, they're out there for sure.
They all act like they're into it.
I mean, this is just the show's writing. That's all. I think it's funny that they, the girls always have. I kind of talked about it when I was, like, disparaging the show in our last review, but their outfits are always like, how did they get that? Like, they just had those, like, ready to go to this, like, cool 80s themed roller rink. Like,
the thing Jen arrives in. It's like she didn't even know about the party.
Exactly. Yeah. And she's got, like, this bedazzled
gold
freaking
black
leopard
jacket.
Print suit. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's all
like,
so
I feel like
ridiculous.
even us living in, like, a big city couldn't find stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fine. I'm
and
not,
especially,
like
it. Especially it being, like, the cool kids.
Yeah.
Those are the kids that do not have any interest in that shit. It's always, like, the more off or, like, weird or, like, different kids.
These girls are supposed to be, like, I wouldn't say that they're cool kids. I would say that they're, like...
Really? Because when they go to summer school, they're like, I'm not supposed to be in the reject room. I'm supposed to be with my girls.
They're preppy. That's all. They're not, like...
Who the fuck is,
not,
like... Kelly and Karen were, like, the cool
like,
kids.
the popular ones.
But so was Imogen before she got pregnant.
I guess that's true. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
know Noah's, like, the... But Farron is, like, the ballerina.
They're all, like,
she's supposed to be the cool kid.
Yeah.
Mouse, of course, is, like, the reject.
The only one that's, like...
And then Noah's the criminal.
Right.
Right, and then
they're just trying
Tabby
to
is, like,
appeal to a wide sloth. Sloth?
Sloth?
Swath. A wide swath.
Swath. Jesus Christ.
Of kids.
Yeah.
That's all. The shows always do that.
That's fine.
When it's about, like, high school friends.
These are not the kinds of people who hang out.
Yeah.
Typically.
It's like, let's have one of each.
But Mouse gets taken to a Chuck E. Cheese from hell. And this scene's pretty lame, to be completely honest. I mean, I liked the setup of it.
Yeah, I like the
to get the
setup.
grandma to take her, and she thinks it's the place, and then she comes in. It's almost like a saw freaking trap or something.
Yeah.
But then there's no tension once the whole thing, like Mouse walks around the corner, and the killer's in there, and she's like got her back to her, and she's just looking around, and the Mouse just literally hides in a like, you know, a cabinet for like the whole rest of the time until they light a fire, and then she just comes out, crawls through some vents, and is outside. I'm like, that was the lamest cat and mouse like chase scene, hunting scene I've ever watched.
No, I definitely was thinking that there's going to be more like tension with her, like trying to escape. Put
her in peril. Get her slashed.
And play the hide and seek of it all.
Cut her.
I mean, she did hide.
So,
but the killer was just kind of like didn't bend down and look anywhere.
No,
was just like walking. Yeah.
You know, being someone who plays Outlast Trials like crazy, this is like super underwhelming. That was pretty lame. I expected there to be like a crazy showdown in there. I expected it to be really tense. I expected Mouse to get cut up a little bit, you know, fight the killer, run this way, that way. You got all these cool like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics in there that are creepy. You thought you were going to get some kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's vibe within there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just over and done with.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it? And she comes out and she's like, it's starting again. And it's like, it already had. I mean, you've already been investigating this. So I don't know. That felt very underwhelming for what they had all set up. Like they were driving her to her doom. Mm-hmm. And I just never for 1 second ever felt like she was in peril.
No.
I never for a second thought she was going to have anything happen to her.
Yeah.
And that's lame.
That is lame.
So, and because like it would have been the perfect time. It would have been the perfect place to do something.
Sure.
Put her in a coma, kill her. I know that, you know, somebody in the comments told me that they're never killing one of these people, that the showrunner said that or something, which would be super fucking lame.
Yeah.
But I think this would have been a great place to kill Mouse. That would have been fucked up while they're all like celebrating her birthday party and she's over there getting hacked up. Mm-hmm. And then that would have really given a lot of, you know, like not only weight to that scene, but just a lot of extra tension to the rest of the series. Like, oh shit, they killed like a main character in episode 3.
Yeah.
Anything can happen now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But they don't have the balls. This show does not take any risks, and I don't think we're ever going to... If we're going to get any kills in this season from people that we know...
It's going to be all
It's going to be like
characters,
Christian at most.
Yeah.
You know, someone like that who's like a bigger character now, but not really.
Yeah.
Or Johnny. Or somebody like that where you're like, okay. But as far as the main 5 and even Kelly, I just don't... I could see Kelly maybe because she's not part of the core 5. But like, even that, I'm like, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. So that takes a lot out of the show. If none of them can die, then who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right? That definitely makes me... Like, if I was to get confirmation that all 5 of our main girls, the showrunner's like, I'm never killing them off, that would be enough for me to probably stop watching the show.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, what's the fucking point then?
Right. Yeah, it kind of takes all of the excitement out of it.
Yeah, I gotta think that one of them's gonna die.
Right.
You know? Like, I know they're probably never gonna kill Imogen. She's the main girl. But everyone else? But that would be, I mean, if I was writing the show, it would be like Imogen gets killed.
Sure.
And then it would be like, oh my God. Because from there, bets are off.
Of course, it's like way more exciting.
That's why Game of Thrones is the greatest show that ever was on television. Because you genuinely just were like, literally anyone could die
shocking.
At any moment in this show. And it like every time a scene happened,
right,
where shit was tense.
Yeah, you're always on the edge of your seat.
You're like, oh, fuck,
they
dude,
could die.
are they gonna die? And half the time they did.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right? I just miss that kind of storytelling. I really wish that shows would have more balls and just like I can get it. It's like branding and it's like we built these characters up and we need to push them for more episodes, but it's like you're going to build such a better reputation as a show if you're ballsy.
Yeah, for sure.
Although we'll see how that goes over in The Last of Us. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Yeah. So it was a cool little roller rink party. Kind of reminded me of the one in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
season
I thought
4.
that too.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a fine episode. We get a lot of drama.
Yes.
Between people, but God, it's literally a mouse. You have a cat and mouse. Mm-hmm. It would have been great if the killer dressed up like a cat and it was like, we're gonna have a little cat and mouse. That would have been fucking great. God, let me write for something. Let me write for something. Please, someone hire me. They just kicked me out of the writer's room. They're like, no, we cannot do that. And I'd be like, you guys are pussies. You guys are absolute pussies. Let's fucking push the envelope. Let's get noticed. Why do you want to just do the same shit over and over, endlessly? People just like, I like comfort. Fuck off. All your characters are dying. I'm killing all 5. First episode. Then where does the show go?
Nowhere.
No, it goes places. All right. That's that. Let us know what you guys thought. We'll see you next week. Adios.
Bye.